Okay, well, speaking of entertainment that unites the world, did we all watch the big game last night?
Yeah, I watch the Super Bowl every year to see if football is still the shittiest sport in the world. I am always right.
Not the most entertaining game I've ever seen, I gotta say.
What's the difference? Like, what's the difference between like this game and like a good game?
Oh, well, I mean, like a good game theoretically, like could in 2 minutes to go, any team could still win it, you know. But this one was just like from the first quarter on, like over. Touchdown Tom. I gotta say, as soon as the Super Bowl was over, I got a text from the beer nerd that I want to read here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he says, "What can you say about Brady other than that he is truly the GOAT in all sports? He personifies the jingoistic W era, the white nationalist Trump era, and the nothing will fundamentally change Biden era. Jordan and Gretzky couldn't personify three presidents."
Truth.
Well, I don't know. I mean, probably Obama said the same thing that Jordan said to Chameleonaire. Chameleonaire to everyone.
Yeah, I think Brady is fascinating because he is the living embodiment of like the tech delusion that is either consciously or subconsciously guiding all of our Silicon Valley overlords of like, just if you get enough money, you will live forever. And that is an insane thing to think. But then you look at Tom Brady and he like sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber and just eats nutrient paste. And
he doesn't eat tomatoes because they're inflammatory, apparently.
And it works. Like
he's the oldest person to ever play in a Super Bowl game, and he just won the MVP in his 7th ring.
Yeah, so
he's 43 years old.
If you look at that and you're Peter Thiel, you're just like, yep, I'm going to be in immortal God consciousness for eternity. Me and Tom Brady playing golf on Mars. That's the future. He's not even going to have to wear a suit. He's just going to be out there on Mars, breathing in the air somehow.
The thing, I was watching it this year, and I don't know about you guys. I'm a little bit different. I tend to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. And
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, were there any ones that stood out to you this year?
So this was a great year for commercials. Half the commercials were like just like self-referential, like too self-aware, like meme postmodern bullshit that was like made by guys with sharp haircuts who like just wanted to artificially be made into a meme. And then the other half, it was like a group of black women crying, and then like a child learning how to ride a bike even though they have one leg, and then a voiceover where it's like, we're a group of people who stand together even when we can't be together. But it's an ad for like condoms, or like a job service where if you get a job, you have to give them half your salary.
I mean, the thing is, like, I just, like, I don't, there was, like, the Wayne's World one, and people were like, oh, that's so depressing. But the thing is, like, none of them really stuck with me. And I don't know if we talked about it on the show before. I know you and I have talked about this. And Matt, you made the point that was, like, really stuck with me that, like, before memes, like, the Super Bowl ads were, like, our memes for the year.
You got,
like, that's all we got.
There were, like, you got
Wassup, you got Aaron Burr, you got, the frogs, or, like, just something like that. And that was it. That was your meme cash.
That was all you got
the entire year.
Yep.
Yo, you're picking the phone. Hello? What's that?
And like now, because everything, it's just like the turnover rate is so rapid and fast paced. It's like the commercials themselves, they're not even really trying. They're not trying to be like. I would always really wanted to see like the big movie trailers for like the upcoming year. And the only trailer I saw watching the Super Bowl was for an M. Night Shyamalan movie just called Old. Old. And I was just like, what? This is bleak. Just it's a movie about an island that turns people old.
Don't go on the island.
I swear to God,
solve that problem. Don't go on the old island.
And they're like, it's like a family, and they're on a beach, and like the kid walks away, and they're like, Michael, come back. And then like he turns the corner, and he's like 35 years old. And he's like, hey mom, what's up?
That would be awesome. Like if you were like 17 and you wanted to buy beer, you could just be like, hey, mom and dad, can we go on vacation to the old island? That's just a name. It doesn't turn people old.
Oh, and the other one that stood out that did feel like an icy blade in my stomach was the Sesame Street ad with that guy David Diggs, who was like in Hamilton, and it was this like upbeat, like all the characters are there, like Big Bird and Cookie Monster and Oscar the Grouch and shit, but it's for DoorDash.
Yeah.
And I just remember like
yeah,
Sesame Street was like
right.
children's television that the creators were like, no, like it has to be on PBS because we were adamant about the fact that like we do not want any advertising associated for, like what we're showing these kids, because it should be like the idea is like some sort of wholesome, nourishing thing for children where we're not just like using these Muppets to fucking sell them shit. But like now that HBO owns like all of Sesame Street, they're like, yeah, fuck it, like DoorDash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
making money,
That's depressing.
baby. The ones I liked, because they made me feel like I was dying, which is fun. was the Uber Eats ad with Wayne and Garth, where we got to see just the ravages of age on Dana Carvey and Mike Myers, and just think about our own mortality. And then after that, you're talking about how we don't have the meme ads anymore. Well, the Bud Light's ad was essentially a DMT like hospital bed trip of all of your favorite friends from all of the Bud Light ads from your life that you've seen. So I like the idea that if someone really loves sports and they're dying, they're not going to have their family members family members gathering around their bed. It's going to be the Bud Night and the little
Cedric the Entertainer
and the little Bud Bowl bottles. And the Yes I Am guy. I remember the Yes I Am commercial, and it's just like saying goodbye to those people as your brain shuts off.
Well, those are like, I think that's like why people like the Budweiser ads, is because they're the only ones where it's not like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if the CEO of our company played a song badly on a keyboard, or like complete self-serious horseshit. Like they suck. They're not as good as they used to be, but it's the closest thing to a straightforward ad.
Yeah.
So like I can see the attraction.
Yeah,
there.
and they still try to get like memes out of it. You know, like the Bud Night.
Yeah.
That was only a few years ago.
That worked.
Yeah.
That was that delighted Americans.
And I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I loved the Bud Bowl.
Oh, the Bud Bowl was the best. I would gamble on the Bud Bowl when I was like 9 years old.
I want Bud Dry. I want points.
I want Bud Ice, and then
That's how you grew to being such a strong young man.
yeah,
This is
absolutely.
Early start at gambling.
Oh, and then like there was the Bruce Springsteen ad for Jeep. Which
Depressing.
that's
Depressing.
That's testing my commitment never to say a bad word about the boss on air. But it was just like, it was a commercial. It was like he was in some sort of deserted landscape at like a church that's in the exact center of the country in Kansas, and he's like, in America, we're on the road. Sometimes those roads are long, but they're not always empty. And then it's like he just gets in a Jeep and drive away. And I'm like, come on, dude, you're from New Jersey. We just see you on the New Jersey Turnpike in a Jeep, just like pulling into an Italian sub shop or like, Asbury Park or something like that.
Yeah, like his American struggle is getting into a shoving match at a donut shop. It's when his friend was the toughest guy in Essex County and gives him his jacket, but it kind of sucks. He has to give it to his maid, his maid's husband.
Matt, did you catch the thing at the very beginning of the game, like right before the kickoff, where it was the like national address from Joe Biden and Dr. Jill?
I unfortunately missed Dr. Jill Biden doing a ventriloquist act with the corpse of her husband.
Yeah, it was exactly what it looked like. It was so funny. It's them, and they're sitting there, and Joe just goes, Super Bowl Sunday, and then Dr. Jill just starts talking for like a minute, and like they're like, and then Joe Biden comes back and he's like, wear a mask, wear a mask.
Hell, where to?
We can help.
Yeah, listen, man. We got a great game. We got the new Texas auto gyros versus the South Jersey Hindenburgs. Joe Biden was probably
the Buccaneers.
Shocked. He was probably
Buccaneers. Back in my
shocked.
day, we call them pirates.
He was probably shocked that they weren't wearing leather helmets and turtlenecks, the way that they should play football.
Yeah, the real game.